So most clothing brands don't fail, and I really want you to hear that. They don't fail, they just never figure out how to make sales predictable enough to go full-time. One brand owner went from 10K on the side to doing over 100K per month, quitting her job and running her brand full-time. Not because she got lucky, not because she became an influencer, not because she spent thousands a day on ads. She followed a simple system that removed randomness from her business, and in the next 30 seconds, I'm gonna show you exactly where she started and how that system actually works. So this was in, I would say, basically all of 2024. You can see here, so January through December 2024, she made about $69,000, 15% returning customer rate, total sales after discounts about $58,000. So honestly, where a lot of brands start, less than $10,000 a month, less than where she would like to be. Again, this was more of a side hustle that she was trying to make full-time, or something that maybe she didn't even think could be full-time.
My name is Maddie Bing, and my business is called This Is My House Dress, a brand on a mission to bring back the classic house dress, just like my grandmas used to wear, using better fabrics, better qualities, cuter prints, and bigger pockets. So we're just thrusting the house dress into the modern age. I came to work with BitBranding in July of 2024 after being referred to them by another small business owner. And after hearing about his success and all of the great things that he had to say about BitBranding, I decided to take the leap and start working with them.
So average order value about $150, solid. This is a lot of growth from the previous year that she had. And again, it's not that it was bad, it's just where could we get to? Now, this is pulled all last year comparing to the previous year. So previous year is 2024, last year 2025. This is done in 2026. So a couple of things here. Number one, returning customer rate, 23%. So actually went up 46%. Orders fulfilled over 2,000. Average order value up as well, 211. $358,000. But the fun part here is that if you see this or you follow this line, there's been a couple of big spikes here, right? So one in July and then one in November. I'm gonna go over here to Shopify so you can see this in real time. That month we did $100,000, 994, so almost $101,000. In July, we did about $58,000 compared to the previous year. In the previous year, we did $2,000. In the previous year, we did $13,000. Big jumps for this brand. Sales were happening, but they weren't consistent. And if you've ever been here, you know how frustrating that is, because without the predictability, your brand cannot become your full-time income.
And I found that the Q&As, I was a little bit hesitant about how they would go. Sometimes these things can be a little like all over the place, but they were super helpful. They kept them really organized and focused. They had different categories for advertising questions versus another section would talk about website. So it wasn't kind of just like a free-for-all, which I really appreciated. And sometimes instead of, just DMing them, because you can chat with them one-on-one, which is so amazing. Like if it's 9:00 at night, I'm like, please help me with this. And they'd get back to you, ASAP.
So let's walk you through what changed and more importantly, what worked. Okay, so this is the real problem that most clothing brands face. It isn't getting sales, it's getting the consistency. Random good months feel exciting, but they're also exhausting because you don't know if that's going to happen again. And if your brand can't produce predictable revenue, it always feels like that side hustle, no matter how hard you work. Where most clothing brands get stuck isn't a lack of effort, it's a lack of focus. Too many products, too many platforms, too many tactics, and no clear order of operations. Most brands aren't broken, they just pulled in too many different directions at once. So one thing that I always like to make sure to hit on is that I was just talking to a brand owner actually earlier today, and she's based out of Vermont. She does about $1 million per year. We're trying to scale that up. She's been stuck at $1 million, $1.2 million for quite some time, and she's trying to get to that $5 million, $10 million. So what I'm going to give to you, advice-wise, is a little bit different than her, but if you are trying to get to your first $5 million per year, you can apply this and double down. 6 by 1 rule. So what are these 6 ones? Okay, so number one is that you got to have one audience, okay? And that's exactly what she did. Again, more focus. One message to that audience. What is the clear message that is defining here? So for her audience is very specific type of women, and we'll look at the site here in a second. One very specific message and how she could stand out and demand the prices and command the prices that she had. So one audience, one message, one traffic source. You can have multiple of them. However, if you really want to scale to get really good at one thing, that is what's going to allow you to go to that next level.
I came to them with, I was struggling to understand marketing and ads and meta and all of that. And this really was a side hustle. I was probably grossing between 10 to 15K in the year. I wasn't really looking at this as like a full-time thing. After a year and a half with BitBranding, this past year we closed grossing close to $400,000. So that was an enormous, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? Like I worked with them, I stuck out, I worked the program, came to them with all the questions I had, and I literally could not have grown my brand to what it is today without the help of Aaron and the BitBranding team. As of today, actually, recording this video, this is my first day doing this full-time. I don't have any other gigs, any other consulting jobs. I'm fully working on my brand, and I do attribute that to taking the leap and signing up with BitBranding.
So one audience, one message, one traffic source, one offer. We had a brand actually completely different from this one, but a brand actually messaged me, and he was part of the program for 12 months. He just started out and he started selling hoodies. So they were basically really heavy, high GSM hoodies. You know what that is, great, but basically super heavyweight hoodies. And we created an offer and came up with an offer to sell and give away a free cap, give away a free hat. And that took off like crazy. We're in the process right now. I just got a really fun message from him where he's about to order over almost 1,000 of these hoodies. On average, they're 150 to 175 USD. Great for him, and really close to making this like an actual full-time take care of the family type of business. And when the offer was free cap. So an audience, one message, one traffic source, one offer, one winning product. You do not need a ton of products to win. You don't need a ton of categories to win. You just need one winning product that anchors everything to move it forward. And you need to do this for 1 year. That is the important part here. Don't get stuck on trying to figure out how you can make this happen faster, right? Fall in love with the game, if you will. Make sure this is something that you're actually passionate about, that you care about. It's going to make a difference. If you're just chasing the money, sticking to it for 1 year is probably not gonna. Before this shift, the business looked like a lot of motion with unclear results, like most of you guys probably. Products were selling, content was being posted, promotions were being run, but growth felt fragile. The first real change was slowing down and creating clarity before trying to scale. You gotta have a foundation. Simplifying the website, clarifying that offer, like I just talked about, making it obvious what to buy, and more importantly, why. And once that happened, results stopped feeling random and started feeling repeatable. Okay, so this part really matters. We gave her the system, we gave her the framework, but she's the one who showed up, stayed persistent, she put in the work, and she did the hard things when no one was watching, fixing pages, reviewing data, asking questions, implementing feedback, and even when it wasn't exciting. There's an idea I love that says that people who feel the most fulfilled aren't the ones who have already arrived, they're the ones who are making the real progress towards a goal that actually matters to them. That's exactly what was happening here. If you are going after just chasing the money, eventually, hopefully, you achieve that. And then you realize that that actually isn't going to be the driving factor here. Getting to the 100K per month is rare. Most people never get there, but it's because they're chasing just the money, okay? So find out why you're actually building that clothing brand, because it is important here. It's important, and it's why she hit those numbers. And again, we're gonna walk through all of this. I'm gonna create more of a visual for the system that we use and implemented because she was part of our program. But I did want a quick pause for context. If we haven't met yet, my name is Aaron. I've been running BitBranding for over 11 years, and in the last 12 months, we've helped over 300 clothing brands generate more than $100 million in revenue. And if this video has helped you think differently about your brand so far, go ahead and like and subscribe. It is free. If you do it in the next 3 seconds, I'll share with you the best book that I've read so far in 2026 that you need to go get as well. Go check it out. It's an old one. The second big shift was focus. Instead of trying to do everything at once, the brain committed to doing the right things in the right order. That meant fewer distractions, clear execution, and progress that actually stacked instead of resetting every single month. Once those shifts were in place, everything else got organized into a simple system we called Ecom Accelerator. And this is important. This wasn't about doing more. It was about doing the right things in the right order. Most of you guys actually know the answers. I mean, I think there's not a brand owner that I haven't spoken to who's thinking, duh, I need to, create content. I need to fix my website. I need to do all of these things. Yes, you do. I'm not telling you anything new under the sun. It's the framework and strategy amongst those tactics that do not change, the foundation, the principles that do not change, that actually grow. All right, so let me walk you through the Ecom Accelerator framework. And again, our whole goal here is getting back to the numbers like this. And also, just want to point this out because sometimes people have success for a little bit and then it kind of dies off. Just want to give you guys some context. $7,000 a day in the month of January. This is literally January right now that we're talking about. So difficult in the retail space. Orders are up, average order value is up. Conversion rate's down a little bit, right? To be expected, but sales are up year over year and week over week. Okay. All right. So this is the Ecom Accelerator framework. Number one is website. Okay. You need to focus on your website. First, lay the foundation. I want you to have a hero section that is completely static. Don't give me any of this scrolling stuff. Don't give me this video, right? We don't want the video. We do not want this carousel. We want a static image that goes after your customer avatar, right? Solves their problem with a clear call to action, okay? It should literally look something like this. Here we go. Ideal customer, a little bit of text about what it is that you solved their problem, button to buy. Really just says shop now. So that's number one. A lot of times people mess this up because they're trying to do too much. They think something looks cool versus what actually converts. So static, get rid of your video, get rid of your carousel. Okay, you're making people think way too hard about what they need to do. Number two, traffic. It is no longer organic or paid. It is very much organic and paid. It must be both. If it is not both, you can grow. However, it will be very difficult to scale. What this brand owner did was a combination of both of them, okay? She did do paid ads. Again, we can jump into that here in a second because I think it's important to share that as well. With the organic, what I usually do is create organic content first, and the things that work, I will take that and then put that into paid ads. Seemed like a very simple framework. Campaign setup, we won't go into that crazy depth here in this video, but we do have plenty of videos on how to build out in funnels, fancy term, basically how to run ads for clothing brands on Instagram and Facebook. All very easy, straightforward. But number two is traffic. Number three, profit. Most clothing brands do not do email. I have no clue why. You should be doing email. You should be sending 2 to 3 emails per week. You've got to let the people know you've got to stay top of the inbox. Plain and simple. Those who send more emails make more money. Number four, customer experience. If you do not care about your customer or the experience that they have, shipping, packaging, customer service, right? This will go down and so will your sales. Number five, branding and messaging. These are all in necessarily no particular order. However, it's kind of in order of importance. So many people are thinking that a brand is a logo or like a slogan. Really, brand is association or pairing. Let's say you associate yourself with a cooking show and people who love to cook, and it was a very well-known cooking show, right? That's good association. If she associated herself with fitness brand and a bunch of fitness influencers who didn't really fit into her demographic, then there would be an association, there would be branding, but it would be bad branding. Branding is the pairing of the two things. Brand is the outcome from that. So these two things come together to create the brand. If you pair two things that don't really match, then you get a quote unquote bad brand or bad association. That is the Ecom Accelerator framework. That is what she has used. So over here inside Ads Manager, as you can see, pretty straightforward. What is this? 27 days, have not spent thousands of dollars a day. One campaign setup. All right, we'll talk about that. Multiple ad sets based off of concept or based off of positioning or like creative ideas. And then it's all broad. So age, gender, location, and the ads do the targeting. And then the ad set up for individual pieces of creative. If you are looking at this and wondering what Andromeda is, or basically what we suggest inside of here, diversification of creative. So you've got videos, you've got carousels, those are different format types, and then you've got like us versus them, you've got founder story, you've got lookbooks, you've got just plain product photos. You really have to have diversification of the creative things here, right? They weren't tactics. This was an actual framework, right? She followed the Ecom Accelerator. She set up the campaigns inside of Ads Manager, what we suggest from that framework. And once everything was aligned inside the framework, growth stopped feeling chaotic and started feeling predictable. And this part is important. What didn't matter was having a massive following. What didn't matter was being an influencer. And what didn't matter was spending thousands of dollars per day on ads. This worked because this was simple and focused and not flashy. Nothing exploded overnight, and honestly, that's a good thing. It compounded. Momentum built, systems locked in, revenue became reliable, and eventually growth stopped feeling stressful and started feeling sustainable. And once the income became predictable, quitting her job wasn't a risky leap. It was a confident decision, which is where I want you to get to as well. This isn't a one-off story, it's a pattern, and the brands that break through are the ones that are willing to show up consistently, stay persistent, and do the work that actually moves the needle, especially when it's not glamorous. And if you want help, not just with one tactic, but with building a system like this for your own clothing brand, you can schedule a free strategy session with our team. There's a link in the description down below. No pressure, just a conversation. Look, if you're building a clothing brand and you want this to be more than a side hustle, something predictable, something real, something that can actually replace your income, go watch this video on how to use Instagram ads to scale your clothing brand right here next.